honestly, with Toriyama gone, I don't know how we can incorporate Cooler so far along in the story in a way that makes sense. Like, I think he would have been much better introduced earlier in the story, or maybe an important character during Resurrection F, where like maybe there was a reason. Oh, we're gonna bring my brother back.
I disagree with you. I think actually it would be very easy because Dragon Ball does this all the time. They just say, "Oh, this happened 10 years before, 10 years after," and then they just build around that story. They did it with superhero. Like we've gotten I forgot the name of this new transformation Gohan is, but Beast Mode Gohan and Orange Piccolo. That hasn't really happened. Like they tell us it's sometime during what? I don't remember which part, but they'll just give us 2 dates and say, "Oh yeah, it's between this date and this date."
I would start the movie when Frieza's dad is fixing Frieza up to go back to planet Earth. Right? Cooler and his dad are looking at Frieza, and Cooler's telling his dad, "You should have just let this nigga die. Just let him die." And then his dad, because Frieza's his favorite, right?
What's going on, people? It's your boy Macky. Oh, I hope you're living right. I got my good brothers here. We got the razor sharp assassin with the clipper and Johnny B. We also got the black Kage, aka Salt and Pepper Poppy Crispin. And with us again, Musa. We are dirty by nature. Living well, doing right. Make sure you like, comment, and you subscribe. I know that rhymed. So today, we just recently off screen watched a video by Lord Ford Board, who is bored to death on TikTok, about how he would make Cooler canonized. I saw it before these guys. I thought it was pretty cool. I definitely was glued to the screen till the end. Unintendedly, because yeah, it just came up. I wasn't really doing anything. I was just on TikTok, and this guy started talking about Dragon Ball Z, and I said, "Huh?"
No, I said pun intended. You said you thought it was pretty cool. That's it.
Blur, like Mike Posner. Anyway, so we are here to talk about this video. He was talking about Cooler being canonized. What does everyone think? Whoever wants to take it first, go ahead. And I'll you got it.
He said, "Get it live. I want to take it."
My bad.
So I could go first. Oh no, John, you said you want to.
It doesn't really matter to me.
Okay. The first thing I want to say is I do like the idea of making movie characters canon and like figuring out a way to do that. So obviously Broly was the big example. I think Broly was just, and I heard this. I don't know if it's true. Apparently, us saying Brolic came from Broly the character. I don't know if that's true or not. If it is, he's already legendary off of that alone. But
but that was always the consensus, believe it or not. I have no idea how factual that is. Yeah. But that was always like a thing, especially like growing up in Jersey City. That was a thing. Yeah. That was where.
So that just shows you the impact of not just Dragon Ball, but like a specific character. But them bringing Broly into the canon, I think that's right before Super started. That's kind of how they started, like bringing Dragon Ball back, because it was off the air for 20 years if you're including Japan. Every movie pretty much has been canon since then, right? So like you had the Battle of the Gods, and then the Resurrection F, and then the Broly movie, and the superhero, and all that. So, but I think Broly just as a character is immensely more popular than probably any other character. One, he's a Saiyan. Two, the whole lore of a legendary Super Saiyan that we always heard about, and like how crazy that person is, and like he was just like he has his own Super Saiyan forms that just like he was just different, right? Um, Now Frieza being one of the most iconic anime villains in general, bringing him having a brother who had a fifth form that Frieza didn't even unlock was cool for them to have it in the movie.
Mhm.
Now, them introducing him because of where the manga is, I don't know how they would do that with the forms. Like if they would just say, "Oh, he's so strong," it's like we haven't even seen Goku, not Goku Black, Frieza Black or Black Frieza or whatever yet. I don't know how they'd explain that power gap if they were to bring Cooler in, or how they would do that. Um, I'm with it. You know what the guy was saying was kind of like the setup for his theory on how they could bring him in was kind of just like, all right, Frieza's just you know being Frieza, and oh, I'm gonna just take this planet, and this is mine. And then Cooler's like, being big bro and little bro and him, like, yo, you ain't learned nothing. I'm gonna just grab you by your face and throw you around, and all this stuff is kind of like, I don't know. I don't think there's as much lore with the Frieza race. Maybe they could show us more of the Frieza race. We know there's other Frieza, whatever his species is, in the other universes. We saw it in the Tournament of Power, so maybe they could bring that into it to introduce Cooler. I don't know, but I don't know. I think it's a harder task than Broly,
I
personally.
I just want to like tackle on top of your point, pause. I think I
Yo,
I disagree. I'm just gonna move on because I paused myself. I disagree with you. I think actually it would be very easy because we Dragon Ball does this all the time. They just say, "Oh, this happened 10 years before, 10 years after," and then they just build around that story. They did it with superhero. Like we've gotten I forgot the name of this new transformation Gohan is, but super
Beast.
Beast.
beast mode Gohan and Orange Piccolo.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that hasn't really happened. Like they tell us it's sometime during what I don't remember which part, but they'll just give us two dates and say, "Oh yeah, it's between this date and this date." So
yeah,
it's all between the line. Even Damia is before the Boo saga. I mean, before the Oob saga, right?
yeah. I think it's before the end of Z, which is the 10-year time skip.
Which is all of Super.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Basically,
saying. But
yeah.
that happens in Super, but
Hmm.
so that's my point. They could just say, okay, this happened then, and we'll all eat it up, love it, and they'll just go on with the next. And I'm not mad at it. I think the story that he gave was fire. It's a regular classic Dragon Ball Z movie. Frieza's trying to do something he shouldn't. He gets little broed. He has to run to well, he doesn't run, but he gets sent to Goku and Vegeta and Whis and Broly, and I think they can even put Gohan because Gohan's fighting with them in the manga right now.
Yeah,
They could put all of them in this movie and now show off cool powers. We still haven't gotten a visualized version of Ego or like a more than the 10 seconds they gave us in the tournament of power for uh Ultra
Ultra
Instinct.
Master
Instinct.
Instinct.
Yeah, and the mastered one because now he's supposedly stronger. We haven't seen Broly fight since the Broly movie because when they showed him, he wasn't really fighting like that in the anime or whichever last shit that I think he was in the superhero movie. So
Yeah, for a little bit.
yeah, I think it would be very good. This movie can, at least do something for them while they're trying to figure out whatever they're figuring out so they can put rest of super back on television.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna. I already went, so I'm not gonna go again. I was just saying, like, they can do it, and I'm not gonna act like Dragon Ball has to have the greatest, deepest story, Attack on Titan storytelling, and all this kind of stuff. Like they'll make it happen. I just don't think it's gonna be that cool of an entrance for Cooler. Like I want to see him for sure, and it's whatever. I'm gonna watch it, but
Hey, Crispin, have you ever seen the original Cooler film? Like, have you seen that Dragon Ball movie before?
Hell
Yeah.
to the no, no,
Oh, you're talking
no.
Crispin.
You never seen it.
Nah.
S-
Actually,
I've
I
heard about Cooler though. Like I know who Cooler is, type shit. But
it's an interesting story because like when they were doing those Dragon Ball movies, usually a movie would come out like right after an iconic like arc was wrapping up. So the Cooler came out right around the time that they finished the Namek story. So, like we already saw like Goku turn Super Saiyan and all that other stuff and fight with Frieza and everything. And the Cooler movie, it kind of just does the same story all over again, where like Goku, unlocks his like Super Saiyan form at the end of the movie. Like it's not something that he just can turn on like that. Oh, look, there you go. He's got it. And Metal Cooler, Cooler's Return of Cooler. Um, it's cool because like they introduce Cooler as Frieza's older brother and that he's there to take revenge on Goku for killing his brother. So there's a little bit more character motive in the original film. So while I do like this content creator because I think he's really creative. I like his storytelling. Like he's got a real interesting way of putting his like stories together. I want to give him credit because he thought of something very interesting. But I'm not a big fan of that kind of a setup or that kind of a motive because knowing what we know about Frieza and his family, Cooler would have been a thing or would have been mentioned way sooner. So like it would be a real big reach, in my opinion, to bring Cooler in now at this point in the story.
I
And
have a retort to that real quick.
Mansa to the Musa. I'm
There was
that
speaking.
that
is
I'm speaking now.
random that random Dragon Ball special they had in like '08 or something with Tarble, Vegeta's
oh hey
brother.
Son Goku and his
Yeah,
friends.
yeah,
Mhm.
and they randomly brought him up in the Broly movie when they were showing like little Vegeta and little Raditz on the planet. They're like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
it was like,
Vegeta,
what
don't you
about your
have a
brother
brother?" He's
Tama?
like, "Yeah, he's out in somewhere," and they just bring it up for like 2 seconds. I get it; it's not nearly as important as Frieza and Cooler, but I don't know. I don't think they Dragon Ball fans aren't like the deep. Like, I'm not trying to like shit on us as Dragon Ball fans, but like I don't think the
No,
majority of Dragon Ball fans like need this deep set. Like we've kind of
it's it's
accepted the plot
it's not
holes
that
in
it's not
this.
that it needs to be like a deep story. I just feel like at this point in the story, it's odd to bring a character
Yeah,
in like that now that
of
hasn't
that
been
magnitude.
mentioned.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he's this guy's proposing that he's introduced and is already stronger than Frieza's black form.
yeah.
And I don't like bringing characters all the way up to god level so easily so
Soon
quick
as they're
just for the
introduced.
sake
Yeah,
of plot and story. Now they do an ass pull with Broly in the Broly movie, so I know that they could do an ass pull in a potential Cooler movie, and I totally get that. But at least there's a little bit of an explanation behind why Broly is so strong. He was born freakishly strong and just never trained, never, like work, never got to fight anyone on his level to grow stronger, to break those thresholds than what he was doing with Paragus on Vampa. But this is something a little different. This is suggesting that like he would be stronger than Frieza like at the level that Frieza's at, and Frieza is like strong enough to like hold God of Destruction energy
yeah. Or like he like one shot it, or not one shot it, but like took out Ultra Ego and Ultra Instinct
and Ultra
Goku
Instinct.
with
You
like
know, so
just his hands. Yeah,
so it's just like I don't know. There would have to be some crazy backstory just to explain how Cooler is this strong for it to be a good story, in my opinion. I know that some fans could care less and they probably like all that Dragon Ball Heroes bullshit too.
Yeah,
But
then you have a golden form in that too.
yeah, like it's a whole bunch of it's to sell cards. It's a video
Yeah.
game that they're advertising with that manga, but it would just be more stuff like that, like more
Mhm.
fanficky kind of storytelling, which is like fun for I guess the sake of this conversation, but really hard to canonize in my opinion. And even with like the Broly stuff, like I feel like um with Toriyama doing Dragon Ball Minus, which was like that prequel part where they show Bardock and Gine putting Goku in the space pod and sending
Mhm.
him off to protect him. Like it's just it's obviously Superman. It's obviously Superman inspired. Like it's just not. I feel like with Toriyama sometimes would take too much inspiration from other works and try to make them work in Dragon Ball. Um, and honestly, with Toriyama gone, I don't know how we can incorporate Cooler so far along in the story in a way that makes sense. Like I think he would have been much better introduced earlier in the story, or maybe an important character during Resurrection F, where like maybe there was a reason. Oh, we're gonna bring my brother back, and that was the reason why the Frieza Force was collecting the Dragon Balls. And that would have been an interesting way to bring him into the story, but I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Here I go.
Do it.
I would start the movie when Frieza's dad is fixing Freezer up to go back to planet Earth. Right?
Mm.
Cooler and his dad are looking at Freezer, and the Cooler's telling his dad, "You should have just let this nigga die. Should have just let him die." And then his dad, because Freezer's his favorite, right? He's like, "I can't do that. He's my son." And Cooler's like, "I'm your son too, but you don't do that for me." So Cooler's like, "If you guys are going to Earth, I'm not going over there. I'm gonna go do this over here." He splits somewhere else. These two go to Earth.
Mm.
Freezer gets his dad killed. So Cooler mad. He's like, "Yo, I told my dad to let this nigga die, and now he dead too." Boom, boom.
I like
Cool,
this version already.
Cooler is doing everything that he did. He said he did in the version the kid was talking about, right? He
Mm.
does all that shit. He's getting stronger. Frieza does the same shit. He pulls up. Frieza doesn't have the black thing yet, right? He only has the
No, no,
gold.
no, not at that point. He doesn't
No,
even
no,
have his golden
yeah,
form
but
yet.
the guy, no. I'm talking about like we already skipped. We're in the guy's
Oh, like
story.
where
Yeah,
his story
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where his story is, he's already on Black Frieza.
I eliminate that part. He doesn't have that.
Yeah, he got that's the main part to me
He doesn't
that's
have that. He
that's
erased that. He doesn't have that. He's gold freezer. The movie's the last thing we know about him in this part. He's gold freezer. But Cooler's stronger than that. We could give him that. He's stronger than gold freezer. Cooler's like, bro, I'm diamond, whatever the fuck. Some other shit. He comes with some bullshit. He comes with some bullshit. And we're like, oh shit. That shit cool. And then Frieza lands on Earth, and then Goku, Beerus, and Vegeta help him get stronger so he could beat Cooler's ass. And at the end of everything, Frieza's like, we can't fucking kill each other. Let's just govern this whole shit together. And then Cooler's in canonized. Point blank, period. I think that would be better. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Because
so you want it to take place
Yeah,
It gives
when?
Frieza a reason
he
to
wants
get
to use the
stronger.
flashback. He wants to use a flashback to
Oh,
when Frieza gets him and King Cold killed.
yeah, I know that part, but then when do you want them to bring Cooler in?
It gives Freezer a reason to become Black Freezer. Because
Okay.
Cooler's trying to kill Frieza. And Cooler's stronger than Golden Frieza. So he needs to get stronger to beat Cooler. So now we have a reasoning. I don't know if they explain how Frieza became Black Frieza, because I don't read the
Hmm.
manga. But if
No, they
they
don't
haven't,
explain it.
he
He
just
just
pulls
shows
up,
up and he can
boom,
do
I'm
it
Black
now.
Yeah,
Frieza.
he
You
just
know what I'm
showed
saying?
up. He's like, I'm niggified now.
In this movie, they explained the niggification. You know what I'm saying? They explain it.
You guys
They're
are
like,
terrible.
"Well, this is the reason. This is the reason he's niggified. This is why. Older brother syndrome. This nigga was annoying. I had to become a stronger nigga. That's it.
What do y'all think about I feel like they would never do this because you know with anime it's all, especially Dragon Ball, it's about new forms and characters and merch
I
and
hate
toys
that.
and stuff. What if they just told a standalone where it fits in canonically, is that the word? But
Canonically.
it canonically almost did it.
There you go. I did it for you. There you go. Right there. Sorry.
No,
It's
that's
the
fine because
ADHD.
I
I can't help
asked,
it.
I actually asked what the word was, so that's fine. But like, what if it was its own standalone where it's like what Crispin is saying, where it takes place pretty much during, I don't know, but then there's like Cell and Android. I don't know. They'd have to fit it in somewhere there, I guess.
But he doesn't have
Like,
to.
yeah.
He doesn't have to interact with what's going on in the parts that we know. It
Yeah.
just has to be something parallel to what we know. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
that's what I'm saying because that's kind of what they do with the movie. Well, the
No, because the
movies
movie makes
take
no
place in a
freaking
weird
sense.
time. It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Because it's the same shit that happens with Frieza. So that makes no sense.
Yeah.
What I'm
Screw
saying,
all the cooler talk. They need to make a movie about a one-shot manga that they
Refrigerator?
wrote called "The Time I Got Reincarnated as Yamcha." That's what they need
Oh
to
bro,
my
do.
if
god!
Yamcha
All right.
comes out, anything else, I'm not
That's
watching.
that's what they need to do. Do you know the story about the kid that was reincarnated as Yamcha?
I'm gonna tell you something, John. I'm gonna tell you something.
Wait, you're being
Nobody gave a
serious or
fuck
no?
about Yamcha.
I'm being so serious. It's a manga. It's a manga.
Yamcha
We're gonna
is the worst character in anime history.
That's the
Get
joke.
this nigga out of here, bro.
That's the joke. The kid is from the real world and he wakes up and he's in the manga that he was reading. He's in the fucking Dragon Ball manga that he was reading and he knows all the history of Dragon Ball. So he knows
He's
that Yamcha sucks and he knows that like that Yamcha dies and how everything. So he takes it upon himself to be like, yo, if I was Yamcha, I would be cool as hell, and here's how I would be cool as Yamcha. So he becomes cool as Yamcha, and Yamcha doesn't suck in this version of the story because the kid knows the story.
I doubt it.
And he doesn't fumble Bulma.
I don't remember if he doesn't fumble Bulma or not.
I'm gonna tell you something. This shit just cooled off and bit the freezer right here. We're about to go out of here with the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like what the fuck we just did in this video, somebody else about to tell you what the fuck to do. So out of here, and these guys out of here with me. See ya. Goodbye.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Macky O.M. Ayo! And you made it to the end of this video. We appreciate and love every single one of you nerds that have come, watched, and now you have conquered, okay? If you want to follow us, you can subscribe to the YouTube at Nerdy by Nature TV. That's Nerdy by Nature TV. You can also listen to the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. That's Nerdy by Nature Podcast, the Nerdy by Nature Podcast. And guess what? We're also on social media. You can follow us anywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Nerdy by Nature TV, that's at Nerdy by Nature TV. And if you don't follow us, why I oughta. I'll see you there. Peace!